Give me one quick second. Actually, oh, this is good. We can just watch right away. Let's go. Let's go.
This is 26-year-old Dawson McGee, sitting in a police interrogation room in the early hours of a Tuesday morning. The Monday night before, he stabbed his own mother to death for asking him to move out of the house.
Okay, sorry. Halt. I need to pee. I need to pee and then talk about him stabbing his mom.
React speedrun paused 1 second in. World record easy clap.
Hello. Okay, I'm actually so excited. I've missed being React Andy. Okay, let's go. Everybody, wait. Did you guys get your drinks? Did you get your snacks? I want everybody to be ready before we begin, okay? Yep, I got some drinks and snacks. Okay, me ready. I need a ready from everybody, everyone. I don't want anyone to be away from their PC. It's a doozy. It's an hour long, okay? Ready? All right, let's go.
This is 26-year-old Dawson McGee, sitting in a police interrogation room in the early hours of a Tuesday morning.
26.
The Monday night
That's
before,
almost me.
he stabbed his own mother to death for asking him to move out of the house and get a job.
Not me. That's
Dawson
not me.
is unaware that he is being recorded on a hidden camera. In 3 seconds from now, he will hear the sound of the door being opened by a detective. And at that exact moment, you will see a remarkably noticeable switch in his demeanor.
I love that.
Something I want to talk to you about.
Oh my god, he doesn't know that they were recording him before the guy came in.
Well, you tell me.
So he's trying to act crazy.
Something happened at home to Mom. They were very bad. What happened to my mom?
I almost feel like that's rude to be both actual mental health issues.
I was waiting for my brother and sister to tell me.
Okay. Well, so, was your sister home this weekend?
I'm supposed to have an attorney?
If you want.
You're pretending to be out of your mind, but asking for your attorney. Either you don't know what the fuck's going on, or you do. Pick one. Like...
You want one?
Am I supposed to have I should request an attorney.
Well, that's up to you if you like one.
I'm
like to
so
talk to
curious. The
him.
detective, like, when did he catch on?
You're supposed to have an attorney. I would offer. I would ask for an attorney.
Do you want to ask for an attorney?
Yeah.
Okay.
Bruh.
It would come as no surprise that a judge deemed him fit to stand trial. A jury then found him legally sane, and he was sentenced to life in prison for the murder of his mother, all of which was in spite of a continuous charade of mental illness similar to the one you see here. Dawson
I wonder
clearly
if he
believed that
gave
his
it up
passage through the legal
in
system
jail.
would somehow be easier if he were presumed insane, which is a
Wow.
naive yet somewhat common misconception that many suspects make when facing serious charges.
Wow.
They have this notion
I
that a
didn't know that
plea
was
of insanity
common.
would either lower the severity of their punishment or liberate
For
them
people
from
to
it altogether.
pretend.
That instead of being sent to prison,
It kinda
they would
makes
simply
sense.
be released back into society, perhaps with a free psychotherapeutic program to attend on the weekends. This is, of course, a far cry from reality. In the United States,
And
if you're found responsible for a
they have
serious
tests
offense,
for
but
this.
also found not guilty of the crime by reason of insanity, you will be institutionalized at a high-security psychiatric facility. These
Damn.
institutions are without question some of the darkest and most disturbing places in the system. And if you're not actually suffering from the crippling effects of mental illness, living in this type of environment will be a mentally agonizing experience.
That's
The
so
foresight
true.
of what occurs inside these units would make the majority wish to avoid them. But once you are in, it is very hard to get out, and you will
Do
have
you
to
guys
serve
want
the same, if
subtitles?
not a greater amount of time than you would have had to serve at a regular prison. So to put it briefly, if you commit a serious offense and then pretend to be crazy in order to get away with it, your life from that point forward will be an extremely dark and uncomfortable existence, whether you manage to fool
No.
the system or not. But there is one
Like
benefit,
he's-
which is the elimination of capital punishment. The United States cannot execute someone deemed
Ah.
insane during the time of their offense, which is the only conceivable reason a defense.
I have a very,
You are my
ignorant
inspiration
question to
keep
ask.
Positive thoughts up. Love you, and I hope
Aw.
you have a great peaceful rest
Thanks,
of your
honey.
year. All love from Southern California.
Thank you. I have a very naive question. So, is capital punishment only allowed in certain states? Is it allowed across the board in the United States? Is it a thing in Canada? Because I never hear about it in Canada. Is it allowed in most countries? Yes, certain states. Got it. Do they have it in Canada? Not in Canada. I think that's why. When I hear about capital punishment, I'm like, wait, what? What dat? Because I just never heard about growing up. What is it typically reserved for? How do people know whether someone's crimes were severe enough to warrant capital punishment? Like one murder? All murders? First degree murder? Ah. Serial killers, that makes sense.
Defendant would cling to this narrative even after knowing what lies ahead should it succeed. And this happens to be a
Oh,
notion
why
that
did
ties
you have
in
to do
closely to the
that?
primary subject of this video.
Look at that
It will
edit.
focus on one particular individual whose interrogation footage is so fraught with blatant trickery that most of the segments presented to you won't even need suggestive commentary. You can simply observe and judge for yourself whether you see authentic behavior or not. But before showing you what pretending to be crazy looks like, we'll briefly show you a genuine case of the criminally insane, or at least a far more convincing one. This is 18-year-old Jared Murray, a freshman at East Central University in Oklahoma. On a Wednesday evening in December, he asked fellow student Gennaro Sanchez for a ride to Walmart. Once they got there, Murray pulled out a handgun and made Gennaro drive to an isolated country road where he shot him twice in the head. He then attempted to hitchhike to Canada, but was soon apprehended by police on the side of the road. He immediately confessed to the
Why?
crime once apprehended, and was then interrogated by the arresting officer.
I went down to his dorm room and asked if I could be given a ride to Walmart in exchange for $20 gas money.
This is why I don't drive. Yeah, it's not why, but what? Don't ever give anyone a ride to Walmart. Because Walmart's crazy. I don't know.
So he took you to Walmart,
Yes, sir.
and did you both go in?
Wait, you don't drive? No, actually, I got my license. But then it's been so long that I think it's expired. Yeah.
No, we did not go in, sir.
Okay, and why not?
We pulled into the parking lot, then I pulled the weapon on him and demanded that he take me to Asher, Oklahoma, sir.
Okay, and why did all of a sudden did you decide that you needed to go to Asher?
Because I was planning to take him out into the country and kill him.
Okay. Did he say anything?
He panicked, wanted to pull out his phone. I yanked the phone out of his hand, and then he panicked some more, kept telling me not to kill him. To make him feel more comfortable, I unloaded the clip, unloaded the bullet from the chamber, handed them over to him, and that eased his nerves a little. Then I pulled a second clip out of my pocket and set it on my lap.
And so you're driving east, and so I guess...
Okay, if someone ever did that to me, I'd just shoot them. Wait, can I shoot them? Is it technically self-defense at that point? Okay, if someone has a gun to me and then they empty it and then they give it to me and they... Oh, he unloaded it first. Fuck. Well. Anyways. I had a dream recently where this basically happened. Like, I was trying to get back into like my car or my house or something, and there was a guy waiting at my car. I don't even have a car. As I said, I don't drive. But anyways, again, this is why I don't drive. So he was waiting for me there, and then he like chased me into my house, and it was my family house for some reason. Like my brother was upstairs, and we get into the house, and he's like, he whips out a gun. He starts threatening me and shit. And I'm like, fuck, Valorant didn't prepare me for this. And then I'm like trying to call my brother and trying to get him to call the police. And then the guy gives me a gun. And he like wants me to shoot someone else. And then I have to like, and then we start, we fight. You know, it's hard to explain your dreams. Like, literally, in my dream, I'm counter-strafing. I'm, like, zigzagging and shit so that he can't shoot me. Like, it's fucking insane. And so now I've been forced to mentally, like, go through what I would do if something like that happened. And all I can say is, for starters, in my dream, Valorant did help. Because I would, like, shoot and then, like, hide. And then shoot. And number two, if you have even the slightest opportunity, take it. You know, dinked him. Oh my God, 140. Take it. The slightest opportunity, just fucking take it.
At some point,
Okay?
did you decide it was, now was the time?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I loaded the gun quickly, chambered the round quickly, shot once, missed, shot a second time, hit, jumped out of the car, went
Oh my
around, he was driving
God.
10, 15 miles an hour, so it was rather slow, ran around the hood of the car, and of course it was slow when he wasn't purposefully driving, tried to pull him out, couldn't get him out until he already had hit the tree, pulled him out there, dumped him into the, no, before I dumped him into the ditch, I heard him gurgling. I'm not sure if that was a physiological or physical process after death, but I thought that he might have still lived through that somehow because he was gurgling, so I shot him again and then shoved him down in the ditch.
Oh my God. That is so crazy.
He makes a half-hearted attempt to conceal the body with a handful of leaves and a stick. He then walks in the direction of the highway.
Did you get back on the highway?
Yes, sir.
And which way did you go?
North, sir.
And what were your intentions? When you were walking north?
Why is he talking about it so matter-of-factly?
He states that his plan was to escape into Canada, but he had nothing to escape with, not even a passport.
I had tried hitchhiking most of the way because the only way this was going to work, factoring in my belief that y'all found the crime scene, is if someone were to give me a ride there and then. And then whenever your patrol car
Because
I
he's
had also drove
insane?
over, I stuck my thumb out,
That
and
makes sense.
you was there for the rest.
It's just
You're
sad that
lying,
it's,
you just point blank.
pardon my use of this word, but it's almost like so unlucky for that guy. He was just asked for a ride to Walmart, like the most absolutely innocent thing ever.
Because, I mean, you sat here and confessed to,
Pretty much everything.
in my mind, and I think you might agree with me, just cold-bloodedly killed a young man tonight.
Yes, sir.
Or last night. Have you ever killed anybody else?
No, sir.
You will now see the detective attempt to establish a motive for the crime.
I guess I'm having a hard time understanding
Why the fuck?
what you got out of it.
Yeah.
Can you help me?
I don't really get anything out of it.
Do you feel any remorse?
I'm sad that I got caught so quickly.
Ugh. Oh, I have the heebie-jeebies.
There just was going to be one person that was going to suffer from your consequences of killing.
You have no reason to believe me, sir.
I guess I'm just still having a real hard time understanding why.
The detective fails to establish a solid motive for a further 2 minutes. The discussion eventually lands on the victim's long-term girlfriend.
You don't think she's going to be
He has a girlfriend?
upset, heartbroken?
I think she will be, sir.
How does that make you feel?
No different, sir.
Oh, the victim, not him. Got it.
I think you've been honest with me. I think you've told me just straight up, right out of the book.
Zen TPX, this is Roman. Thank you guys for the subs. Welcome. Have you seen this before? No, I haven't.
You know, you've done a terrible thing tonight.
Yes, sir.
You killed a young man
Yes, sir.
just for the simple fact of, I guess pretty much this is safe for you.
Yes, sir.
And what do you think should happen to you?
Bye.
Death sentence, sir.
And why do you think you deserve the death sentence?
An eye for an eye, sir.
Do you believe in
Why
that?
does he talk like that? Like he's in the military or in a fucking novel or some shit. Samsky, James, Swanee, thanks for subbing. Miss Giff is watching your room tour.
Yes, sir.
I actually really don't mind when people
Jared
watch my
Murray
stuff.
was found not guilty by reason of insanity. He was committed to a high-security mental facility where he is to remain indefinitely.
No.
Anything to say for yourself today?
No, ma'am.
Any reason why you might have done this to this young man?
No, ma'am.
No reason.
No, ma'am.
You have nothing to say for yourself.
No, ma'am.
You want to tell the community anything?
No, ma'am.
Did you confess to police?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you proud of what you've done?
No, ma'am.
Do you have remorse for what you've done?
No, ma'am.
He appears completely void of human emotion. No regret, remorse, shame, nor fear. He had both taken a life and destroyed his own, yet seems indifferent to the circumstances. With respect to his interrogation footage,
It's like there's no soul in there.
the most conspicuous element was the complete lack of self-preservation. He didn't once attempt to deflect blame, nor afford himself any type of justification for his actions. He simply spoke in a factual, non-biased manner, impartial to how his words may have been taken or even twisted to be used against him. There was no calculated structure to his behavior whatsoever. So with this notion in mind, let's move on to the primary subject of this video.
Sorry, I'm texting. I'm sorry. Oh,
Hands up.
booty cheeks?
Have a seat.
Complete dissociation, quite unnerving. You hit the nail right on the head. It like physically gives me the heebie-jeebies.
Do not think about getting up, right, buddy?
This is 19-year-old Nicholas Cruz, who 3 hours and 55 minutes prior to this moment murdered 17 people at his former high school in Parkland, Florida. Among the dead were 3 teachers and 14 students, the majority of whom were 14 years old. A further 17 students were seriously wounded during the massacre. The gunman dropped his rifle 7 minutes into the rampage and then blended in with the crowd as he ran out of the building. He was at large for 1 hour and 20 minutes, during which time he stopped off at a Subway and then a McDonald's, where he sat down and casually spoke to one of the victim's brothers. The student was unaware.
Oh my god. That's like some movie shit. I mean, for starters, it's insane that these things are even occurrences. One person in a high school just kills like 20 other people, including 3 teachers. And the fact that he gets away and speaks to one of the victim's brothers like it's nothing. Oh my God.
Or that his older sister had just been shot through the chest by the man sitting across the table. The description of the shooter was transmitted.
That brother has got to be effed up. Like, to even later on just find out that you were talking to the person who did that to your sibling.
Transmitted by police over the radio, which led to an officer identifying and arresting him on a street just 2 miles away from the school. He was taken to the nearest hospital and examined by a doctor for roughly 1 hour and 45 minutes. He was medically cleared and then transferred to the local sheriff's office, where he was subjected to interrogation.
No, do not think about getting up, right, buddy?
Mr. Coyote Gaming, thanks for subbing. Blanket Busters, thank you. Yeah,
From
that
the
basically
moment the
doesn't
subject
happen.
entered the room.
Okay, sorry. Someone in chat said, yeah, that basically doesn't happen outside of the USA. I don't know if that is sarcasm or not, but I'm curious. Are those kind of things basically not happening outside of the US? I think, I didn't want to assume, but I think right off the bat, that's what makes me feel so sad about it. It truly does feel like the kind of thing that doesn't occur outside of this country, which then means that there are very specific factors within the country that makes it so that these things can occur, which also means it's preventable. Not 100%, but to a large degree. Izzy Pixel, thanks
His
for
eyes
7.
have been fixed upon nothing but the floor. He's held on to this downward-facing gaze as if he's either in a state of shock or disconnected from the moment. At the exact moment the door shuts, he lifts up his head to observe his surroundings. His behavior completely shifts once he believes no one is watching. If we look at his demeanor a moment earlier, we can see the contrast. He went from being detached to alert. His behavior changed as the environment changed, which is a recurring theme throughout this interrogation. It shows us that his mind isn't wandering off during these moments of apparent disconnection. He is in fact fully present and very aware of what's going on around him. As he looks up, his eyes immediately lock onto the camera. He now knows he is still being watched, and his following gestures will resemble that of someone with suicidal tendencies.
Is that what someone with suicidal tendencies does?
At face value, these externalized suicidal thoughts may seem genuine to some, but when framed with the rest of his behavior throughout this interrogation, they are exposed for what they really are: an act, a calculated attempt to garner sympathy and paint his character in what he believes to be a more positive light.
A more positive light.
All right, how you doing, Nick? You all right? Gotta be able to speak so I can hear you. All right, I just need to ask you really your name and date of birth just to confirm I got it right, and then I'm gonna see you want a glass of water or something. What's your first name?
This is a situation where the proof against the suspect is already conclusive. He is without question responsible for the crimes under investigation, making the pursuit of a confession non-essential. The police know he did it, but they need to know why he did it, which would already require a complex strategy in order to obtain the correct information. But the suspect's first recorded statements upon his arrest have now made the procedure considerably more difficult.
What's going on today, bro?
Demons, man.
Demons?
Voices.
Voices and demons?
Where's the voices? What happened?
Shut up. Just be quiet, man.
Demons, man. Voices.
These two words have now forged the primary stratagem of his own interrogation, which is to cut through deception under the guise of supportive examination. The questions will be designed to lock him into a specific narrative about his alleged psychosis, while simultaneously giving him the impression that his responses are for his own benefit. Anything he says now can be used to refute any amendments he might come up with at a later stage. We all know that after this interrogation, he will have significantly more time to think, study, and even seek guidance from professionals about how the legal system interconnects with mental illness. Yet the majority of this forthcoming knowledge could be useless to him depending on what he says during these moments. The more details he gives away, the less options he will have for his defense later on. But pursuing this objective is complicated, as there are two very common scenarios for when this type of suspect gets interrogated. And just to be entirely clear, by this type of suspect, we mean someone who is 1. Pretending to be insane, and 2. Not fooling anyone. Their most common response is to simply shut down. They regress into total silence or some type of catatonic state, and the interrogation never gets off the ground.
Right.
The other common response...
Because that's the thing, it can get tiring to act. But if you actually have mental issues, it takes no effort to behave just the way that you regularly behave. But otherwise, at some point, the facade has to drop.
Is the exact opposite. They erupt into hysteria or supposed delirium, and everything from that point forward becomes incoherent. The lead detective, John Curcio, must not allow either of these scenarios to transpire, and this makes the first 2 minutes absolutely crucial. He needs to create a positive first impression and resemble the furthest thing from a threat, while at the same time maintain a presence of authority. His temperament will be easygoing and non-confrontational, but also encouraging when extracting a response. His role at this moment is the ally. He needs to be liked, respected, but must not be feared. Not yet anyway. Going off the suspect's initial demeanor, the detective will know that he is far more likely to regress into a state of silence at this opening stage.
Maybe just
and if he
interesting
can
because
prevent
it's almost like you're dissecting this person.
that from happening within the first 2 minutes, he is over the first obstacle.
I guess less scary because they're like tied up and
I
stuff.
just need to ask you really your
It's
name
still kind
and
of scary
date of
because they're
birth
not
just to
fully
confirm I
tied
got
up.
it right, and I'm gonna see you want a glass of water or something. What's your first name? Come on, Nick. Huh? Spell it for me.
Okay.
Come on, I'm old. You gotta talk so I can hear you. N-I-K.
I'm old.
O.
Oh.
Okay. A-S. And what's your middle name? Come on, man. Speak so I can hear you.
Boomer.
Jacob. J-A-C. What's your date of birth? Okay, you need to relax, because I'm the last detective or policeman you're going to have to talk to. So right off the bat, that should be somewhat comforting to you to know that I'm the
I
last
should
guy
get
you're
popcorn
gonna talk
for
to.
these kind of
But the
things.
thing about it is, look at me. I got to be able to hear
The
you.
kid's no threat without a gun. He's
Okay.
a coward.
So
But I don't
all
think
wanna
that
do is
goes
get
for
basic
everyone
information from you,
that
and then we'll get into the, whether
commits
you
a
want a
crime.
glass of water, all that stuff. What's your date of birth?
09.
January?
09.
09 September.
The investigation team already know the answers to these basic questions. Their only purpose are to initiate a response, and their non-threatening nature make it more likely for the suspect to engage. They are essentially the opening wedge to get the two-way dialogue flowing. And although the suspect is still partially committed to his catatonic state, as we can clearly see, he is still responsive, making it unlikely for him to regress into complete silence from this point forward. Everything up to this moment has gone to plan. The detective has one foot in the door, and he can now develop the relationship from a more
So they
secure
just ask
position.
him
He goes
basic
about
shit to
this
get
with
him
a standard method
talking.
of rapport development, the offer of food and water.
All right. Let me do this. You want cold water?
Yes.
You don't know if you want cold water?
Thank you.
Thank you. Well, I'm going to bring in two because I want one. It was hot, and then if you decide you want to have it, that's fine. You sure you don't want something to eat? Okay.
The refusal to accept food and water is a familiar response which you may have already seen on this channel. It's a glaring manifestation of shame. This is not to be confused with guilt nor remorse, both of which require the acceptance of responsibility, which in turn directs our focus outwards on the feelings of others. Shame, on the other hand, shifts our focus on the perceptions of others towards ourselves. The subject is afraid of how it will look if he accepts the offer considering the circumstances. He instead wants to appear as if he's so negatively affected by the events that he's unconcerned with meeting his basic needs.
Of course, I have so many different keys. All right, I'll be right back.
P-Wolf thinks for
Once
10
again,
months.
his demeanor abruptly switches when the detective leaves the
guns
room.
legally?
With his head
He bought the guns legally? Wait, no, he's 17. You can't have a gun when you're 17, I would assume. Oh, he's 19. Why?
buried in his hands, it's anyone.
In Florida, you can buy guns when you're 17 or 19. Either way, why the fuck can you... This is America.
One's guess as to what is going through his mind at this moment, but what you are about to see next is extremely revealing.
No.
Cruz was a left-handed shooter. The surveillance at the school would confirm this, and if you pay close attention to the movements of his hands in the next moments, although very subtle, you can see that he's reimagining holding his weapon. But what's more telling is how his demeanor abruptly stops and then completely switches right before he looks in the direction of the camera. He goes from holding a rifle and beginning to smirk, to then pretending to cry and reverting back to his suicidal mannerisms. This all occurs in under 4 seconds. It could be assumed that for a brief moment, he was not only recollecting the attack, but gaining gratification from doing so. He then remembered he was on film, giving reason for the sharp adjustment. His true self was reliving the attack and enjoying his work, while his false self was so dejected to the point he was externalizing suicidal thoughts. Complete opposites.
That's so disgusting.
No.
Actual piece of shit. I like the way that they analyze behavior, though. It's really
His next calculated charade is one of self-harm. He first bites himself without drawing blood, or leaving any marks that were visible in his jail intake photographs.
Don't blame it on the demons. Can you believe the demons are just fucking floating around him like, bitch, it wasn't even me. Blaming us? Shut the fuck up. That's rude to the that's disrespectful to the fucking demons. Stop.
He then scratches and squeezes at the 2 needle punctures in his arm from where his blood was taken at the hospital. At the very moment the detective re-enters the room, he will act as if he's desperately trying to conceal his self-injurious behavior.
They got better shit to do for real.
All right.
Setting aside the glaring contradiction that he just murdered and maimed dozens of people while leaving himself without so much as a scratch, it's the frequency of these little charades that makes their deception so transparent. This is a person who is not self-injurious, pretending to be someone that is, but it's such...
What is self-injurious? XYZ, thanks for the 18 months. What is self-injurious? Injury, injurious. I kept thinking jury.
such a feeble
Self-injurious.
attempt at
Got
feigned
it.
self-harm, it would almost be
Sorry,
a
I was thinking, you know, we're watching like a case and murders, and I was thinking of a jury.
comical moment
Pepega.
if the circumstances weren't as horrific.
So if they're not bleeding
Very,
anymore,
very
you want them
field
off, we
stink,
can pull
man.
them off. I'll get you a garbage can. You want them off? Just put them on the... Throw them on the floor in the corner. Alright, this one is mine, because I already opened it. This one's yours in case you change your mind.
The next 4 minutes
What a
are the
nice
extremely
guy.
tedious process of getting the subject to engage further through basic questions. The topic of his phone will now be brought up.
What about your phone? Do you have a phone?
Hamza, right? Thank
When
you.
did you
Welcome.
lose it?
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Bitch
Today.
talk.
Okay. What kind of phone is it?
I don't know.
Okay, is it a flip top, an iPhone, a Samsung?
Talk.
It's a phone. What's the number?
I can't remember.
Okay.
He will now begin to feign a state of hysteria, which then morphs into a simulated panic attack and fake hyperventilation. The detective will need to
Even just the way he said I can't remember is like shitty acting. Like when someone says I can't remember, they don't go. I can't remember. Like that's not how you don't remember something. Oh, was I muted? Sorry. He did it like he was like looking at it. I can't remember. Like they do in the fucking shitty movies, you know? It's like when you can't remember something, you're like, I can't remember. You're like, I can't remember. Bitch, what
refute
fuck?
the act immediately as to not let the subject gain confidence with it. But he
Ronaldo or Messi?
also has to maintain
I can't
rapport and
say.
avoid confrontation.
Yeah.
He essentially has to tell the subject to knock it off, but in the most
Yeah, he's acting like he's surprised that he can't remember. But if you're actually out of your mind, you wouldn't be surprised at that.
passive manner possible.
That's like if you have a concussion, maybe. Like, oh, what? I can't remember. And you're just putting it to I think even when you have a concussion, you just like can't remember shit, and you don't even realize that you can't remember.
I can't remember, dude. I can't.
Okay, Nick, calm down.
Okay.
You've already been
Messi,
medically cleared.
Ronaldo.
I know
lot
what's
of
going
Messi
to be
fans in
talked
the
about
chat.
is difficult, but again, you don't remember your phone number. How long you had the phone?
Breach all. Good Gus.
How long have you had the phone? Nick, the doctor's already looked at you.
Okay.
Okay, you're fine. You're not having any problems at the moment, and you're perfectly fine.
I fucking
calm
love
your
that. He's like
breathing down.
losing his shit, and he's like,
All
the
right?
doc's checked
and
you,
I
you're
want to
good.
believe certain things that you're going to tell
He's
me.
probably so used
but,
to people
you know, if we're getting to
acting
where you're going to hyperventilate over a phone number.
crazier. I don't mean that in a
Okay.
disrespectful way than they actually are, you know? Or like
All right.
All right.
being
So
more
what's your phone
dramatic
number?
to make the cop feel bad.
Huh?
954.
Okay, 954.
Oh,
The manic episode is somewhat curt, but the subject is still clearly committed to it.
954-821.
2007.
200
fucking the little
Why?
Pikachu.
007.
1007. And again, going back to what kind it is. Do you know if it's an iPhone, a
I
Samsung?
don't know.
How long have you had it? Every
You
kid knows what the phone is. Man, I got kids your age.
What the fuck doesn't know what kind of phone they got?
Ever since my mother died.
I know, I heard about that. That's what I was going to talk about next.
This is a turning point. Cruz's adoptive mother had indeed passed away the year prior from pneumonia. The topic
Aw.
is sympathetic towards himself, and it seems to have stopped the feigned hysteria in its tracks. Compared to his neurotic behavior in the minutes leading up to this moment, he all of a sudden
He
appears calm. He is
clearly
clearly
doesn't know how to
receptive
act.
and thus responsive
VOD
to
be
the
up
cue
tomorrow?
of compassion
Yeah,
when
it
it's
should be.
directed at himself.
haven't played
The
any
detective
games yet.
recognizes this, and although he said he would talk about the subject's mother next, he instead focuses on it immediately to keep him engaged.
All right. So, but you had, since your mom died, how long has your mom passed?
I can't remember, I think.
Okay. This year or
November.
last year?
November.
November? Okay.
Why you keep not remembering shit, and then you remember the shit that you keep making a big deal about not remembering, and then you remember so easily, and it's like you're not surprised that you remember, but you were surprised that you couldn't remember? Explain.
Okay, when your mom passed, were you living with her?
Yes.
Okay, what city?
It's like, what's your favorite color? Oh my god, like I can't remember. What's my favorite color? It's blue.
Who was that? Parkland?
The subject drops the act and becomes more engaged in the
Okay.
conversation. The detective inquires further about his mother for roughly 3 minutes before shifting the discussion. It focuses mainly on the subject's background.
Halt. That's a good one. Sir? That's a good one. That's a good one.
And he first declares that he was depressed for the majority of his childhood. He then reveals his history of drug use, which consists of marijuana and Xanax. After that, he claims to have attempted suicide by alcohol poisoning 2 years ago, but in his own words, was able to sleep it off. He then states that he was employed at the Dollar Tree for the last 2 years working as a cashier.
So you've been able to hold down a job for 2 years? That's pretty good,
Fuck
right?
said pussy drugs.
Other
Weak
than Dollar
shit.
Tree,
Oh my
where else you
god.
doing?
Lawnmower.
What?
Lawnmower.
Lawn mowing? Oh, okay. Alright, when you tried to kill yourself with alcohol, your mom was still alive. What were you depressed about back then?
All drugs bad, except medication
Oh.
and things that are legal in moderation.
Friends? No friends? Or what
was that
kind
bars?
of... I mean, everybody gets lonely.
Solitude.
Solitude? You don't have a lot of friends?
Was that
No.
Okay.
not bars?
Hey
guys, I said things that are legal in moderation. That includes weed.
Starting from last night when you went to bed to this morning, did you do any kind of drugs at all? Any Xanax, any marijuana, anything like that? No? Okay.
Actually,
The
even some
subject
medication
reveals that he has a
isn't good.
biological brother whom he was adopted with. He then claims to have been making $1,200 a
Like
month
the
at the
dogs are
Dollar
decent
Tree.
in
The
moderation,
discussion
as long
now
as they're not
lands on what
omega
his
illegal.
aspirations were.
When you weren't depressed, what did you want to be when you got out of school?
Ranger.
Okay, wait, sorry. Now that we have even slightly touched on the topic of drugs, can I just say, please, if you're underage, I would even say under the ages of 21, just please avoid almost everything. And I'm not even, like, I'm not trying to be nobody's mom. I'm not trying to tell you what to do. I'm just saying you have your whole life to experiment with anything, ideally in a safe and secure, responsible, legal manner. But just don't let yourself do it when your brain is still forming, because I just feel like everybody deserves their best shot at life. And if you're impacting the way that your brain and your body is developing while you're still young, you're not giving yourself the best shot at life, okay? That's all I want to say. Sorry, I know nobody asked. I just felt the need to PSA, okay? Love you guys.
Ranger, an Army Ranger?
You have your
Did you
whole
ever
fucking life. Your
apply?
whole life, okay?
Fill out any paperwork to try to go to the Army?
I took the ASVAB. Failed.
Okay, why'd you fail?
What is ASVAB?
This one's stupid.
You what?
I'm stupid.
You're stupid? Okay, were you gonna take it again?
Did the demons tell you that? Oh, I need to
I
stop.
was afraid to take it.
Sorry.
Okay, but
Commons
you had
donated
aspirations
$2.
to do something
I
with your
can't
life.
wait to see one of these
You wanted to
videos
be
accepted.
that's
Thrice
a
Gun
hell of a
trying
thing
to
to want to be an
justify
Army Ranger.
Commons dumping $6 million
The
worth
discussion
of
moves on to the
cryptocurrency.
subject's gun collection, which continues for roughly 4.5 minutes. The attack on the school is yet to be mentioned, but the last gun to now be discussed was
my
his choice of weapon to
God.
commit the massacre.
What made you choose out of all the guns to want to buy an AR-15?
That dono was such shade. It, like,
Okay.
all the
And when you
lights are
bought
off.
it, I mean, it was a legitimate purchase. They gave you a receipt and everything, right? So you bought it legally, right?
That's crazy.
Did you fill out those forms and everything? Okay, you remember those forms? Okay.
The detective now shifts the topic onto his former high school, the same place he carried out the attack.
Now, 3 years ago when you went to Douglas, and obviously you stopped going there, why'd you stop going there?
My depression worsened.
Your depression worsened, and what was going on? Did you just stop school on your own, or did some incident happen where?
Yes, some incident.
Well, what was the incident that happened?
Fought a kid.
You fought a kid. You remember the kid's name? Ian. And did you guys both get in trouble for the fight, or?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, what did they do? Suspend you?
They suspended me.
Okay. And what happened from there? After you got suspended, did you go back to school?
Yeah.
Okay. What happened? Why'd you stop going there then?
Felt embarrassed.
S0 Baffen donated $2. The detective is balding.
What's the point? He's doing the Lord's work. Leave him alone. Also, it's just funny people in my chat being like, Ian whooped his ass.
You felt embarrassed because you got suspended, or you felt embarrassed because of why?
Because of the fight.
Oh shit, you guys are right.
What was embarrassing about the fight? What were you guys fighting over?
A girl.
A girl? Well, what was embarrassing about it?
A girl.
I mean, did Ian get the better of you? Was that what was embarrassing, or you think he got the better of you?
Oh shit, you guys are right.
He has just provided the
Took
state
his
with a
girl
solid
and
argument for a
whooped his
motive.
ass.
Establishing a reason for an offense is critical when dealing with claims of insanity. It can not only indicate premeditation, but also calculated malice in connection to the crime, something considered absent in the mind of the criminally insane. He also asserts that he was lonely and depressed while attending the school, all of which can
It's just like, I mean, he has mentioned a lot of sad things, whether it's depression or his mom passing or drug abuse, etc. It's just sad that all of those things can combine, and then you throw in legal drug purchase, and boom, 17 people are dead, and he's just locked up.
reinforce the argument that he was exacting revenge upon the community in which he felt ostracized.
All right, so you go back to school. What ends up happening? You just stop?
I don't ever think that that should be an outcome of these things.
Going to school out there, or you got into more problems where they...
Guys. You need to stop. You need to stop. You're gonna make me cry. You're actually gonna make me cry.
Into more problems.
Oh, did I say legal drug purchase? Sorry, I meant legal gun purchase. It's like, yeah, there are all these sad things about your life. You lost the girl, you got your ass beat, your mom passed away. That's actually really sad. And you used some drugs. Okay. But then legal gun purchase, and then it's sorry, I'm having a hard time articulating myself, but I think you guys get my point.
What was the more problems?
Failing class.
Okay.
It should never even be allowed to escalate in that manner, essentially.
Okay. And this was all while your mom was still alive?
Yeah.
Okay. Did there come a point in time where you just stopped going there, or they expelled you?
Or I just stopped going and then transferred me.
They transferred you? When they transferred you, was that upsetting to you?
Yeah.
I'll stop pausing, sorry.
As we know, the suspect has made the claim about hearing a voice which he labeled the demon. The detective will now attempt to get a detailed narrative of these perceptual disturbances. He will do so by asking a series of open-ended questions, and then continuous follow-up questions thereafter. This will lock him into specific claims about what he was hearing. The more information he gives away, the less he will be able to amend later on. And the more questions that are posed, the more likely he is to make contradictions that can be used against him. The suspect believes this is some type of clinical evaluation for the sake of his own well-being, and this misconception will become glaringly apparent later on. He, at this moment, is oblivious to the fact he is giving information away that will be used to cut through his own defense in years to come.
You go to the hospital, the doctors clear you, and you're talking about demons. What are the demons?
The voices.
Well, tell me about it. What are the voices about?
It's another voice, the evil side.
Okay. And how long has that voice been going on?
Years.
Did you ever tell anybody about the voice? Never? And what does the voice say to you?
Burn, kill,
Paris Toner donated $2.
Okay,
Didn't
burn,
know
kill,
a
destroy
heartbreak
what?
and a joint turns you into a cold-blooded killer.
But have you ever...
It's for sure not the joint. I'll tell you that much. It's for sure not the joint.
Burned, killed, or destroyed anything? What have you burned, killed, or destroyed?
He had TTS on. Oh my god! God! I don't think I could ever watch something without chat ever again. Like, you're just too good. You guys aren't watching this with me. I'm watching it with y'all. Go on, keep going.
Oh, a fire pit. Okay, well, I mean, the voice told you to burn something, you built a fire. A fire pit.
Drop the baby.
What's destructive about that? That's what fire pits are made for.
And
What else does the voice tell you to do that's...
Hey Poki,
Okay,
can
you ever
I
killed
contact
animals?
for a
What kind
merchandise
of animals?
problem that has not reached me since
Birds?
February?
You're
Wild
literally
birds
reacting to my
or
room tour
cats?
right now, Miz.
How do you kill them? How do you
Explain.
kill them?
That's like the epitome of stealing my content.
Well,
Also, merch
exactly,
issues.
so
I
how
think
you
there's a
waiting for?
contact on the website. I'm so sorry you've had issues. I promise we will get them fixed. If not, I will refund you. Please.
There's no way, man. I'm a
Contact
bird
them. They should
lover.
get back
There's
to
no
you.
way. You can't catch a bird, Holmes.
No, I mean like.
With a pelican?
Oh, and a mod
Where's
just
your
offered
pelican?
for you to message them. Thank you, Robin. Ms. Sniff.
Alright, so the voices tell you
Olivia June
to
donated $4.
hurt animals and start
My
fires
best
in the
friend
fire
went
pit.
to this HS and
When
when
was the
shooting
last time you
happened,
heard
she
the
and her
voice?
BF jumped the fence, ran to the subway inside Walmart,
What time
and
was
saw
it
him
yesterday?
eating there soon after. They knew him from when he went there, and they didn't know it was him who killed their friends.
And where we at?
That's insane.
You're at work, so you're at Dollar Tree. And
I
what's the
feel like
voice
that's
telling
even
you?
more traumatizing to have that happen in your school and know that you saw the killer right after and didn't even
hurt
know.
people.
It's just
Hurt
like
people at Dollar Tree?
that
Or
kind
hurt
of
people?
shit kills your trust,
Okay, doesn't say
perception of the
specifically who.
world.
Alright. Can you tell how old the voice is?
My age.
Okay. Do you have a good voice too, or just a bad voice? Is there a voice inside you that says, do good things?
The detective will now start getting confrontational, and the subject's behavior will shift once more in response. You will see him get
Do good
defensive as he
things.
attempts
Yeah,
to
that's
protect his
Jesus.
narrative, and his responses will become
Other
much
one,
faster.
Satan,
He will
hump.
even cut the detective off multiple times. Keep in mind that he was barely saying anything at the start of this interrogation.
No?
So it's bad.
Can't be. You held down a job for 2 years. If you were doing things bad, you wouldn't be able to hold a job down for 2 years, right?
Hi.
Fair.
Okay. I mean, look. Everybody has,
It's me and then my bad side.
I understand. Everybody's got a quote good and bad side. There's people.
There's a voice. The voice isn't here. And that's me. Just regular me. Just trying to be a good person.
Okay.
Set aside his contradicting behavior for a moment and focus solely on his storyline. In his ideal scenario, we are to believe that he was battling these
It's borderline comedic because we know he's faking it.
supposed voices.
It's like cringe and disgusting and slightly comedic.
And in his own
because
words,
of how
trying
bad
to
he
be a
is
good
at
person. Yet he was unable to reveal or seek help for this internal struggle until the very moment of his arrest. It was quite literally the second he was confronted with his
And I feel like
comeuppance
it's
that his
likely the kind
supposed
of thing you
demons came to
mentioned
light. Now
it's
that he is
around
in
for
custody,
years.
with
To at
the
least
atrocities
someone.
already committed, he is
Just one
somehow able to
person.
maintain control over the force that was previously keeping him silent. But a deleted video that would later be extracted from his phone would tell a very different story.
Hello, my name is Nick, and I'm going to be the next school shooter of 2018. My goal is at least 20 people with an AR-15 and a couple tracer rounds. I think I can get done. Location is Stone Douglas in Parkland, Florida.
That is so disgusting.
Big event. And when you see me on the news,
And having a
you all know who I am.
goal?
There are no signs of perceptual disturbances.
What a
There is no
shit
anguish,
human
doubt,
being.
hesitation, or uncertainty when announcing his intentions. By his own narrative, he claims to have continuously fought against the evil intentions of the voice. Yet from a visual
name's
standpoint,
in
there
my
is no
shop,
conflict
man.
in this video whatsoever.
It's me and then my bad side.
I understand. Everybody's got a quote good
Cotton
and bad
4K.
side. There's people.
No, it's-
Failed
there's a
20 bomb.
voice.
Oh,
The voice isn't
jeez.
here. And that's me. Just trying to be a good person.
Okay. But obviously, again, when you say it's a voice, it's you. It's all you. The voice is you as well.
Caught the demon in 4K.
The voice didn't force you to do anything, right?
No, the voice did. It's two voices. If there's one half, that's the good, and then the bad.
Yeah.
His rapidly interchanging behavior has now gone from catatonic to manic to hallucinatory to now highly attentive and cautious.
But after actually
the voice
your
tells...
sense of humor is amazing, and I aspire to be a streamer like you one day. Big up Spooky Pokey Hypers.
Thank
For me to go to lunch and not pay
Demon
for
and
my
Angel,
meal.
like actually the most basic shit.
But I pay for my meal because I know that's the right thing to do, right?
You guys saw the other guy who was like actually crazy? This guy. He's not out here like, well, there is an angel and there is a demon voice. And the angel is just me being good and wanting to go to heaven. And then there is the, like, no, he just is.
Okay, let's talk about it. Did the voice didn't tell you to take Uber, right? It did? The voice said take Uber.
Yes, and the angel always says take Lyft because Lyft pays their drivers more than Uber. But the Uber, but the evil voice, the demon voice said Uber because Uber takes more money from the...
The subject was beginning to panic, but the detective dials it in for the time being and switches the discussion back to more trivial matters. It seems that he wants to consult with the investigators outside before maximizing the pressure, and he reestablishes a certain level of trust before leaving the room.
Let me go. I'm going to go back and see what everybody's doing as far as what they need you to do.
You're not a psychologist or anything?
No, I'm not. I'm a 59-year-old man who's raised 3 children.
Also, sorry, the message right after said, remember, X amount of people died. It's not funny. People dying, absolutely not funny. This guy being a dipshit, sometimes in hindsight, a little bit funny. Also, I want to say, I think there are ways to make jokes or make light out of certain parts of things without calling everything else
was
a
given
joke.
the diagnosis TBI,
I find
traumatic brain injury, after surviving a car crash. Basically, I am supposed to be brain dead, kinda. This acting is so cringe.
So, sorry, I want to have this talk real quick because I often find that sometimes...
donated $3. The amount of mass shooters has increased dramatically.
I also agree that this is a massive issue. The media issue around, the media coverage around
what these people are thinking, but part of me also
I mean, you can
like
see in the video, he literally says like, I want to be the next school shooter because I don't know why, but it should not be a goal or something to look up to or something that you can become. They should just be people whose faces nobody knows and that they're just put away for life. To be fair, actually, when I think about it, I feel bad even watching this video about it.
I watched
then technically,
this like
maybe I'm doing the same thing.
I was so disgusted that I couldn't watch the rest.
It is really gross. But yeah, sorry, can we have this discussion real quick? Because I want us all to be on the same page. Essentially regarding like, I am definitely the kind of person who will sometimes laugh at things that make me uncomfortable, but I am also the kind of person who wants to find humor in dark situations. And I think a lot of other people that watch things are, and I just want to say that there are ways to do that without being insensitive. And there are ways that are insensitive. And it is all a little bit of gray. But if I ever do seem like I cross that line, please feel free to let me know or hold me accountable. But otherwise, I think, it's okay. If you ain't laughing, you're crying, shit. But otherwise, just know, I think it should be well assumed that none of us think that actual school shootings or people dying is funny. I also think comments like that oddly come from this, almost like this internet culture of being overly worried that we're being offensive. There are a lot of offensive things.
Couldn't even drop his
but
bomb.
Sometimes I imagine the people that write that in my chat, they don't even know. Like, they might constantly be worried that they're being offensive or something, but as long as you educate yourself and you're always putting forth your best intentions and you're open to fixing any issues you might make, I think that's fine. But maybe don't project that onto every situation you come across. Like, are you being offensive? Like, chill. I think we're chilling. All right. Sorry, I'm done. I really wanted to mention that because I've seen a lot of those. Even when I talk to like Miz, they'll be like, "This isn't
Praise
funny."
Joker donated $2.
Like, well, under
Just
this
donating
context,
to mess with your discussion.
Yeah.
Also, hi Pokey.
Fuck you. Thanks for 3 months. All right, let's go.
So I guess that makes me somewhat of a psychologist.
Think you can give me a psychologist here?
Shut up.
I can certainly ask.
Okay.
Have you ever seen a psychologist before?
No.
Okay.
The subject scratches his arm for another 2 minutes. He then switches to a hallucinatory state and appears to be seeing things in the room.
No, he appears to be pretending to see things in the room.
All right. Got some stuff here.
Pokey, nice shirt, BRO.
Thank you.
The detective will once more
Hey,
dismiss
demon
the act
buddy.
by pretending to not see it. He will then pose a question to the subject, and the charade will cease immediately.
Do with the water. Well, you put it back over here. You definitely don't want the water, huh?
It's very interesting to observe his facial expressions at the exact moments he abandons fake behavior. These are the very brief junctures in which his true self appears to surface. It's
The
easy to get
demon's there and
distracted
you're like,
by
"Nah,
the
I'm good
present
on the water."
situation as he sits there in a hospital gown chained to the floor, essentially helpless to the cunning devices being used against him. But in moments like this, we are reminded of what we're actually dealing with. A very short time ago, he was not helpless at all. He was the one preying on the helpless,
Yeah.
offering them none of the sympathy nor mercy of which he is now trying to garner for himself.
Demon said G Fuel only.
All right, this school or this psychologist you want to talk
Demon,
to.
burn, kill, murder, drink G Fuel, take Uber.
Obviously, I would have to tell him what you want to talk to him about. So, what exactly what do you want me to ask him, or why do you want to talk to a psychologist?
Find out what's wrong with me.
Well, what do you
Oh,
think
now,
that is?
huh?
I don't know.
Now?
The detective in
last
this next
few
segment
years?
will attain further information about the
While you were
supposed
working at
voices,
Dollar Tree?
only he will no longer have to tread carefully
then?
in order to maintain a friendly connection.
Not
He will
after the
still
video you
secure
filmed?
useful information, but also get confrontational as and when he pleases. The risk of frightening the suspect to the point where it stops the interrogation is no longer a concern.
When you hear the voices, are the voices like outside your head or inside your head when you hear them?
Inside.
Okay, so it's not like you don't hear a voice from that corner talking to you.
Oh, so
It's
how come
inside
you
your
can
head.
see it then? Wouldn't it
And is
make
it
sense
always
for the
the
voice to be
same
coming
voice
from
or
the thing
only
that
one
you're
voice?
pretending to
One voice,
hallucinate?
And you said it's a man's voice? That's, yeah.
Yes.
Does it sound like anybody you've ever met? Anybody you ever seen on TV? Can you tell like by an accent? Is it what kind of, is it an old man, young man, white man,
Young
black?
man.
Young man? About the same age as
Young
you think?
man. Sorry. Seagull, thanks for subbing.
But it's only one voice you ever hear, right?
Yes.
Do you hear the voice when you're in bed at night sleeping?
Yes.
Do you ever see anything with the voice? Like yeah, like, you know, some people say, oh, I see a person sitting in the corner. You don't see anybody sitting over there.
But why is he pretending to hallucinate?
Okay? It's just me and you, right?
Make it make
All right.
sense.
Do you always obey what the voice tells you to do?
I try not to.
Okay. Well, how many, on any given week, how many times do you think you hear the voice? All the time?
Once every day.
Once every day? Morning, afternoon, night? Always the same time?
Usually in the afternoon.
About what time?
11 to 12.
Why do you think it's those hours?
I don't know.
Okay, that's before
Only around
noon, for
lunchtime?
starters.
Now you talked about demons, and
Yeah.
then you talk about
Yeah,
the
that's the
voice.
demon. The voice is the demon.
The voice is the demon. So there's not
the
two.
person, whoever it is,
Does it have a name?
no name.
Does it ever say, "Hey, my name's Nick. Is
My
you
name
your
Jess.
name, or use somebody else's name? Just a voice with no name.
Just a voice with no name telling me what to do.
Did the voice tell you to buy that AR-15?
Yes.
Did it tell you, hey, buy that gun, it looks cool? Did the AR-15 get picked out because it was similar to the gun that an Army Ranger would carry?
No, it's because of the voice.
What do you think if you didn't buy it, if you said, hey, I ain't buying these guns, too expensive, what do you think the voice would have done to you? Just stop talking to you?
No, tell me to hurt myself.
How would you hurt yourself?
Cut.
You're a cutter?
I'm a cutter.
Alright. I mean, when was the last time you cut yourself?
Earlier.
Earlier when?
When I was fishing.
Earlier today or
Earlier today.
Where were you fishing at today?
Okay, sorry this is such a small detail, but I think him saying like cut and him being like you're a cutter and him being like I'm a cutter. I feel like people don't refer to them as something that like just a weird way of saying it. Like I feel like someone would just be like yes or no. He's like I am a cutter, period. Is it just me or does that just not sound right? Like you would never hear me say I'm a gamer. Like, yeah, I play Valorant. Or some shit.
Okay. Before the school shooting?
Yes.
What did you cut yourself with?
Okay, I mean, I don't say it unironically. Maybe even you say, I play games. I play this. I play that.
No.
Those little scratches on your arm?
We have clips that contradict. Stop.
No.
It's different when it's ironic, okay?
I get worse scratches weeding my flower bed than that. You weren't trying to hurt yourself.
Sheesh! Did he just fucking roast him on doing a bad job at cutting himself? What the fuck? Whoa!
Wasn't sharp enough?
No.
How many knives do you have?
Wow.
4, 5.
How long have you been cutting yourself?
Years.
That's some pussy
you ever
shit.
cut yourself when you had to go to the hospital?
Flips wrist around, Jesus.
When you cut yourself, it's because the voice just told you to cut yourself. And if you didn't talk or you didn't listen to the voice, then you were going to be alone because your voice was your only friend. That's kind of what you're saying. Even though you have a biological brother. Since me and you have been talking, have you heard the voices? What's it said?
Saying cut yourself.
For you to cut yourself. Does the voice like me? Does the voice like me?
Is the voice single? How old is it? What's its gender preference? Is it free tonight?
Me?
He doesn't trust you.
Why doesn't he trust me? I'm pretty relaxed, ain't I?
I'm trying to figure that out too.
Well, what doesn't he like about me? I mean, I'm kind of grinning because I want to know what the voice's problem is with me. What doesn't he like about me? I treated you fairly. I've given you water. I talked nice to you.
The demon fleshed emoji?
You know, I'm too nice. Yeah. How many times has the voice talked to you while we've been in the room here together?
A lot.
Has the voice said jump out of the chair and do anything bad to that policeman?
Saying kill yourself now.
I don't really believe there is a voice, to be honest with you.
Voice.
No, I don't think there is.
Okay, tell him. Talk to him.
No. I mean, I feel you probably want to kill yourself because of what happened, but...
No, the voice is telling me to kill myself.
Okay, but the voice is telling you that the AR-15s is... You like guns, man. You wanted to be a ranger. You like guns. It's alright, there's cops like that. There's cops who got a 50
Black Hawk
million
thinks
gun.
so gifted.
You didn't buy guns because the voice said, hey, today I like Mossbergs, tomorrow I like AR-15s. You like guns.
Talk your shit, sir.
Call a psychologist.
I get it. I've already got the questions from some of the psychologists. Some of the questions I asked you were from... Yeah.
I see.
That's the ones I asked you. You already...
Can I see if he believes any of my bullshit?
The questions were obviously from the investigation team and not a psychologist, but the suspect doesn't know this, and it's fascinating to observe his reaction when he sees the questions are not sympathetic in nature. He perhaps thought a psychotherapist would be asking him about his feelings and affording him some type of reassurance after he committed mass murder, and he becomes very unsettled once he realizes the procedure won't be quite as sympathetic.
If you wanted that, you should have gone to therapy.
Inside or outside of your head? What do the voices say? These are all questions I asked you. How many voices? You said one. Whose voice do you think it was? You didn't know.
What's wrong with me?
I don't know. I don't understand why you can't admit you like guns. You want to talk to a psychologist. Why didn't you talk to a psychologist when the voices started?
The voices telling me not to, and I listened.
The voice was telling you not to talk to a psychologist?
Yeah, but myself, I wanted to.
You ever go to church?
I won't.
I'm sorry I keep pausing for them, but every time they're just so funny. They're just so funny.
Not saying ever in your life.
Yes, yes.
Do you believe in God?
I believe in God.
What do you believe in?
I feel like there's something.
Okay. What if you believe in demons? Do you believe in angels? Angels is the good. Demons are the bad. But when you say the word demon, you think it's an evil spirit?
True.
Or what do you think it is?
A voice.
The subject had earphones in during the mass shooting. The topic now lands on the music he was listening to.
Well, I mean, I'm sure we don't like the same music. What kind of music were you listening to? Name the group.
I swear to God.
Mark Green.
You have to help me. Mark what?
Mark something.
What was the song though?
Yeah, I was like, I swear if it's pumped up
That's
kids,
the name
that's
of the song.
disgusting.
Sad.
No,
Free the demon.
Salad Days.
Salad Days.
Salad Days? Man, I would hate to be this artist and being affiliated with this. Just sad.
Oh, you listen to more than one song? What other songs you listen to?
Just a lot of sad songs.
All right. Did you pick the music yourself, or did the demon pick the music?
The demon, and then myself partially.
All right. Which ones did you pick?
The sad ones.
Which ones did he pick?
The evil ones.
The evil ones. What do you mean evil one compared to a sad one? You already did a sad one. What's an evil one?
What the fuck is an evil song?
What?
Panzermensch.
Is that really evil?
And what does that say?
I don't know.
I mean, there's no lyrics.
You want to know what's evil? Those type shits, and then you reverse it and it says something. Those Illuminati videos, that shit kind of evil. And then you reverse it and it says some freaky shit.
Oh, no. Oh, well, there is lyrics, but I don't know what it means.
But is it in English?
No.
What language is it in?
German.
German? Do you speak German?
No.
Then how do you know what the lyrics mean?
The demon tells me.
So they could be happy.
Okay,
right?
I would have actually maybe been impressed there if you're like, the demon tells me, and then you like translate on the spot. You can actually fake that too. You could just actually know German.
I don't know.
We wouldn't know.
Well, again, you don't because you can't speak it.
Demon, Google Translate.
But you have them on your. How long do you think you had them on your playlist?
A long time.
Okay, so you've listened to them a lot of times. So you had a playlist of music that the demon helped you pick out, but you picked out some of them. I'm just having a tough time understanding this demon thing.
I know.
Nobody understands. Bitch, you ain't tell nobody. Talk about nobody understands head ass.
The
you didn't even
Xanax you were
try.
talking to me about earlier.
Because it's not true.
Where'd you get the Xanax? On the street or?
On the streets.
So you used to buy that? Other than Xanax and marijuana, what other drugs you never tried? Vodka? PCP? Cocaine? Heroin?
No.
Okay, Xanax, how many of those did you take?
I kind of wanted him to
take?
roast him on that.
5.
Okay, 5. What size bar? How big? I mean, what color was it?
Half, sometimes full.
Okay, what color? They all
White.
White. All right, but that was off the street. Did they help you sleep?
made me drowsy.
Okay. Did it make the demon go away?
Yeah.
When was the last time you think you did Xanax?
A long time.
I feel like
So
you
if the
definitely say this
Xanax
shit to a doctor or
helps you
someone
get
at
the
some
demons
point.
away.
Marijuana does it better.
Marijuana does better? When was the last time you smoked marijuana?
Last week.
Last week? If you're making $1,200 a week, why didn't you smoke marijuana every day to get rid of the demon?
Like, I don't even think he means to roast him this hard, but he's rolling him. Like, just rolling. Just fucking rolling. And I was thinking the same thing. I hear demons, I'm telling my mom immediately. And then my doctor, and then I'm smoking weed every day. Point blank, period. And I'm never taking Ubers. I'm deleting the app. Bye. No Uber for me. Nope.
Illegal.
It's illegal?
Yeah.
And it's illegal. It was illegal whether you do it once a week or once every 5 minutes. So why did you choose to get rid of the demon by doing it? Anytime you heard the demon,
fucking cops like it's illegal, whatever, bro. You've been doing it anyways.
Because I knew it was illegal and I didn't want to do wrong, but he wanted to do wrong.
Okay, pause. That doesn't make sense. The demon wouldn't want you to do weed even though it's illegal because the demon would know that it gets rid of him. So you just ruined your own logic. Sorry.
Okay. So the demon wanted you to do wrong, but then your good side didn't want to do wrong by smoking marijuana?
Even though it made him go away.
Even though it made him go away. Well, I don't know why you didn't tell the doctor then you had anxiety problems and marijuana and Xanax cured your anxiety and made the demons go away. It seemed like an easy fix, man. If that's true. You sure you didn't like the demon's voice?
I don't like the demon voice.
You sure?
I'm sure.
Then why didn't you go to a doctor to get rid of it?
I was afraid. I'm just afraid of people.
Why, well, forget that for a second. Let me ask you another crazy question.
But you're not afraid of what you just did?
Was the demon there that night Ian beat you up on campus?
What the fuck?
Was the demon there that day when Ian beat you up on campus?
Yes. He told me to go up to him.
Okay, so who did Ian beat up? You or the demon?
Me.
Okay, so why didn't the demon do something to stop it? Huh?
Why didn't it?
I don't know. That's a good question because the demons tell you to do all these bad things.
Why did the demon whoop Ian's ass?
You mad enough to
Holy!
get the best
I
of
love
Ian?
this cop.
I mean,
I don't know.
I don't know either. It doesn't make any sense.
I don't know.
The demon just talks a lot of shit. It can't actually walk the walk.
I don't know. The demon's this
I don't know why.
all-powerful thing that tells you to do bad things and you're afraid of it. Why did the demon just take over right then when Ian was getting the best of you and get the best of Ian? Why did the demon not do that? Why do you think?
Trying to figure it out.
I don't know. I can't figure it out either because I don't think the demon exists.
Can I think?
I don't think it exists.
No, like.
I think that them. Go ahead.
Can I think of a way to get myself out of this?
Think to myself about it.
Yeah, sure.
That's all I'm asking.
Hey, you can think all you want.
No, I'm just thinking about the demon.
All right. Well, you want me? I'll leave you to think for a while, and I'll come back and talk to you. I personally, I think you're using the demon as an excuse.
I'm not. I promise.
You could have stopped the demon by getting a prescription for marijuana. You could have stopped the demon by getting a prescription for Xanax. You could have stopped the demon by illegally doing marijuana, which you were doing anyway. You could have stopped the demon by doing Xanax illegally, which you were doing anyway. You could have stopped the demon anytime you wanted. You didn't want to stop the demon.
The subject seems to be coming to the realization that he's not going to be treated as a victim. As he begins to meet this reality, you will notice him exhibit signs of fear. You will then see him attempt to escape the confrontation by feigning a state of psychosis once more. The detective will recognize this, but this time will not afford reassurance. He will instead apply further condemnation, and a visibly frightening realization will engulf the suspect from that point forward. It's essentially the very beginning of retribution. The detective introduces him to the rest of his life at this moment.
Oh, that's frightening.
You could have. I've given you 4 ways you could have stopped the demon, man. Okay, now you know you're just acting like that because.
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
You're just acting like that because I'm.
He's literally saying no to trying to get the cop off of the train of thought that he's on. When if you're like freaking out, you're just freaking out. You're not saying, "Oh no, please believe me." You're just freaking out.
Making sense.
So bad, actually.
I'm making sense, and you don't like when it makes sense. Because it doesn't fit into the story you're telling right now.
I'm telling you the story. It's just
what?
true.
Well, why are you looking at your arm now?
Yeah.
I'm trying to understand why.
Well, why didn't you want to stop the demon?
I don't know.
Because I think you like the demon.
No, I don't.
Why didn't you stop it then?
I don't like the demon. I don't like the demon. I don't like the demon. I don't like the demon.
Well, that's if the demon even exists.
He's like feigning the wrong symptoms.
Can I get an attorney or something?
You want what? An attorney? The demon, the voices.
You know what? That's it. That's the fucking tell. That's the tell between a crazy motherfucker and one that's just faking. The ones that are faking always ask for an attorney. The crazy ones don't give a flying fuck. They'll tell you what they did in detail, deadass. Yes, sir. Like, holy.
Tell you to get an attorney? Okay. All right, we tell the voice that don't hit yourself in the head because the attorney the demon just requested, I will stop talking to you.
I'm scared.
You're scared of what?
Scared of why wouldn't he protect me?
What?
Why wouldn't he protect me, man?
I don't know.
Why wouldn't he protect me?
All right, well.
I mean,
again,
he's
your demon
never
wants an
protected
attorney.
you in the. It's a voice.
Does
from what you claim.
Do you even know an attorney? Any name in particular? Okay. All right, well, just relax. You're done talking to me. And once again, I grabbed the wrong key. Alright, do me a favor. Stay seated. Put your hands, kind of sit forward in your chair. I'm going to put handcuffs behind you. Since you keep talking about hurting yourself. Hold on. Put your hand behind your back. No, not behind the chair. Behind your back. I don't want to make you that uncomfortable.
True.
Aww.
Because what did the demon say about me? I'm a nice guy.
I fucking love him. I fucking love him. I'm a nice guy. Tips fedora. Oh yeah, I saw a bunch of people spamming for this. Sorry, not right now. Maybe another day. Sorry.
Nicholas Cruz was taken to the Broward County Jail, where he remains in isolation to this day. His trial date is yet to be scheduled.
The 20-year-old has been held without bond since last year's mass shooting that left 17 people dead. His attorney said he would plead guilty in exchange for a life sentence, but prosecutors rejected that offer and are seeking the death penalty.
Let's go. The demon got him the glasses? Dude, I'm fucking subbed. Yeah, it's both horrifying and comical. Well said. I fucking love the cop. He was so good. I actually watched the Jody one. That's the only one I've ever seen from this channel. how my acting looked when I pretended to be sick in front of my parents as a kid. Yes, sir. Damn. Wow. Yeah, that's crazy. Also, somebody mentioned... Pause. That one's freaky as fuck. That video's freaky as fuck. Someone said,